Hello everybody. I may have just bought the cheapest running, driving, and stopping 7.3 Power Stroke within 100 miles of where I live. And I immediately regret buying it. But I actually don't regret buying, well, it's a love-hate relationship, because what we're gonna do right now, I thought it was a running, driving truck and everything was all good, but what we're actually gonna do right now is tear it apart. First off, the livery is pretty sick. I'm gonna have to do some research to figure out the origins of this livery, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Not even that bad on the rust. This is kind of gonna be the theme of the problems with this truck. It's been sitting, it's been parked. The owner told me he only put about 1,000 miles in the last 3 years on it. So I think that's gonna be why we're having most of the problems we're having. We're gonna get rid of the topper, but we do have a bed. It's textured. There's waves and holes and rust. So it's got all the flavors. A buffet, if you will. You can see some moss on the topper there. I think that does mean it's environmentally friendly. A lot of wacky stuff, like missing some lug nuts, mystery fluids on the wheel wells. Doors are straight and they shut. Wood trim panel, immaculate condition. The lights have been modified. Here's the kicker. Yeah, so this thing has 500,000 miles on it. The seat's a little blown out. The guy I bought it from said he had this truck since 40,000 miles, so he's literally put 400,000 miles on this truck. Allegedly, these came factory on the truck. It was a special ordered truck, which is kind of not too hard to believe because it does have a cool wrap, wood cladding everywhere, cool seats. These are Banks clusters. He said it was chipped, but I don't think it is because it's making stock boost and it doesn't roll any coal. 7.3 liter turbo diesel Power Stroke. Thing doesn't have any blow by. It runs pretty freaking good for what it is and what I paid for it. It does have a modified heater setup, but that's just overall an improvement, so we're good with that. This truck doesn't come without its, shall we say, quirks and features. As soon as I turn the ignition, you're going to observe some strange behavior. I'm going to turn the ignition now. I can put it up, but I can't put it back down. Does that sound cool?
Yeah. I mean, I like it.
It actually sounded cool. Was it worth it?
It was turbo and stuff and everything.
Really? Wow. Hopefully we didn't lower the lifespan of the truck, but I think you can do that once. Yeah, you're probably wondering why we have to tear it apart, and it's because, unfortunately, what has happened is 4x4 works, by the way, so that's good. I drove it home, and the torque converter started leaking really bad, like much too much to ignore. It's probably leaked well over a quart in like an hour of driving. All right, topper is off and we got a lead on the package. So turns out these Waldock Crafts guys, turns out they do packages on new trucks. So that's why it's so cool. Breadcrumb trail. And then over there. Our biggest hurdle is going to be making the truck light enough to actually want to go up on the lift. We got it out. There's a couple of really annoying things like the dipstick tube and
the top right bolt right there. The only other thing is just wiping all of the crud and grease off of the bolts so we could get to them. Well, unfortunately, when you pull a torque converter, it kind of makes a sopping mess. So I can't just point at something and say, oh yeah, that was leaking, but I think we're just gonna go through it and throw it together and hope for the best, I guess. Jeez.
Let me tell you a little story. So we ended up pulling that transmission out, and it was clear that the transmission of it has been out before, and there was actually a big seal of either caulking or RTV around the transmission pump, which is definitely not factory. I actually asked the dude that I bought this from. He said it's never been out. He maintains that the transmission's never been out and it's never leaked before. Put a new pump seal and bushing and O-ring and everything in there. Went through it. Put her back in the truck. Put her all back together, threw her all back in. What would you say, Levi? Easy 10 hours of labor, at least?
We spent a long time.
Spent a very long time, 2 weeks on the lift, waiting for parts. And leaks just as bad as before. So, fan-freaking-tastic. $200 in parts later, and 10 hours of labor. I'm not gonna pull that back out without putting a cheap, lower mileage one back in there. So we're just gonna leave it for now. Truck's not fixed, which means there's only one thing left to do. It's like literally not louder at all.
No, it's not. It's just more engine sound.
You can hear the turbo now though.
You can. Okay, we're gonna do a little cold start.
All right, this girl,
She don't like the cold too much. Oh, this is fun. Alright, just for kicks and giggles, we're gonna let it do one cycle just to see what she does. Not too hopeful though. Oh, never mind. She got her. Nice. Nice. This is really inconvenient. I gotta get this window thing fixed. I'm gonna preemptively lock my hubs today. Put my heater on. Oh, sweet.
If you guys have been keeping up on the lore of our channel, I just traded King Snake for this. Straight trade. We're gonna see how this goes, but I did get injured in the process, so there is a cost. I didn't want to close this video out without me showing you guys how this thing hauls. And we are in 4-wheel drive right now. It is sloppy, so you can see this is actually a better area. I think they just plowed this, but we're gonna give it to her a little bit here. Okay, so I'd say we're getting into boost now. This is like maybe half throttle, I don't know. We're just going mellow on it. Tranny honestly shifts fine. Getting splash zone here. Hopefully the truck doesn't fall off. It's chilling. I don't think I'm gonna have any other opportunity to get her up to speed this drive. This is pretty gnarly out. We're following a plow. That's the only reason you can see the road right now, but this is 4-wheel drive, so keep in mind, but she drives straight, guys. Look at that. She's tracking straight, no major shake or vibrations.
We'll give her a little overdrive action here. Boom. However, we do got some problems. Problem number one, defrost sucks. I can't roll this window down. I can barely see behind me. The brakes are good. In fact, we're using them right now because we're about to rear end this Trailblazer right here, popping overdrive back to the off position. But the biggest problem we got right meow is trans very easily overheats. Just driving here in one gear, it crept all the way up to 240. Now this being the original transmission at 450,000 miles and it's still leaking, I'm pretty eager to replace this transmission, so I'm not super annoyed with it overheating, but I do want to get that solved because this thing does shift solid for now. So I do want to try and get that fixed. Also, this truck is dangerously close to falling off the trailer, so this should be an interesting drive. But anyways, I'm gonna keep you guys updated on the old Pete here, and so far it's going mild to okay. If this didn't overheat, it'd be running really good. But the trailer brakes work, trailer lights work. Pretty happy for a cheap diesel like this, and 4x4 works. And now probably 30 miles an hour all the way back home.